What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker.
Amir Rahimi.
And today, y'all, we're getting into a debate about one of hip-hop's best-selling artists of all time and two of his most acclaimed albums. Get ready for the great debaters, y'all. And today on The Great Debaters, we're going to be looking at two of Tupac's albums, two of his most acclaimed and two of his best-selling albums. We got Me Against the World, which dropped in 95, All Eyez On Me, which dropped in 96. And obviously these are very tumultuous years in Tupac's life and the end of his life. So, Amir, heading into Me Against the World, Tupac, his star was rising, but he hadn't become this icon. So, going back and as you listen to his first couple albums, prior to Me Against the World, what did you think of him artistically heading into this project?
I'm a little biased because Me Against the World was the first album I heard from Tupac. That was actually the first, little backstory, that was the first CD I was burned that got me into hip hop. Okay. So Me Against the World was my intro to Tupac, so I can't answer that with a clear line of thought. Okay. But going back and listening to Tupacalypse Now, for example, which is I think we can all agree that was his weakest while he was alive. But going on to his Strictly album, I thought there was some definite progression in terms of features and production and more confidence in his flow. And Me Against the World, I think, just took it up even a higher notch in that aspect.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll debate his first two albums in another episode, but I do think Tupacalypse Now gave us a great introduction to him because coming off of Digital Underground with Same Song and different things, I think that was Tupacalypse Now was such a dramatic departure from that because that's not what Digital Underground rapped about, primarily police brutality, and then a few other topics like Brenda Got a Baby and other songs on Tupacalypse Now, but the album is mainly about police brutality, which is a far cry from what Digital Underground did. And then on the Strictly album, I think, to your point, he took huge artistic steps, I think primarily because the production grew and evolved with him instead of staying in that kind of dark lane that much of Tupacalypse Now was. But when we get to Me Against the World, he was in prison, he had a lot of problems, and legal and physical problems with getting shot. So I was very intrigued to hear what the album was going to end up being. So for you, this is the album that got you into rap. What made it so amazing to you when you heard it?
Dude, just the start, man, of getting shot. You hear just the intro, and it really sets the mood for the whole piece.
Right.
If I Die Tonight, the classic intro saying, coward dies 1,000 deaths, soldier dies but once. I think at the time too, I was like a little. I was, what do you call that, hormonal, going through the puberty and all that stuff. So I was kind of relating, with, I guess, the fuck the world topics and stuff like that. Obviously, two completely different lifestyles me and Tupac have, but you can relate, especially with a lot of the album kind of being darker, more melancholy, a little more sad. Just think about it. What do we have? If I Die Tonight, Me Against the World, So Many Tears. Yeah. Just
not
such downy, exactly, track names. Then you get to the end, Death Around the Corner, Outlaw.
Well, interesting you say that because one of the tracks that stood out to me for the very opposite reason was the Old School song. Because I was always wondering about, at this point in rap, it's 95, rap had been essentially on record for 16 years, and it had started to have this kind of, cannibalistic thing of people dissing old school rappers, but then paying out, some few were getting paid homage to, and then you saw someone like Tupac being from New York, went to high school in Baltimore and then moved to the Bay Area and then settled in Los Angeles post-prison, and once he got to death row, you just saw this kind of guy that we wouldn't have thought, at least I didn't think that he was going to make a song like that, and that really stood out to me in the midst of all the sad, paranoid, depressed type of music that's on this project.
Yeah.
So you have that, and then juxtapose that with Dear Mama, of course.
Yeah.
So I think that the album is really brilliant for what it does, but then also with the old school and Dear Mama, even though they're more, they stray from those topics, the beats are still have a sort of down melancholy-ness to them that I thought fit in well with the album, but also showcased his ability to write a variety of topics, even in a dark, melancholy manner.
I agree, 100%.
So for you, Dear Mama obviously is one of the most celebrated tracks for the project. So when you were first listening to it, how did that song resonate with you?
That one, man, I mean, that one I was able to play in the house. I didn't, on the little computer speakers back in the day, I put that one up. I didn't have to wear the headphones in. That one was a big one, and that was kind of the introduction to hip-hop for my mom, coming from overseas to America. She didn't hear too much rap. So that Keep Your Head Up from his previous album. Those are some songs I was able to play. That one was just, I think, a landmark song. And to kind of talk about what you were saying, to piggyback on that, so the whole album is basically like a little more sad production, a little more down mood. I would think the only two songs that kind of stray away from that but still work, at least one of them works, is It Ain't Easy.
Right.
With the synth and the more cheery mood, and then Can You Get Away, which is my personal least favorite song on the album, with the female chorus and there's so much pressure in the air, and I don't like that. But he still did have, I guess, a couple moments of different production, but 90% of the album.
Yes. So that's kind of our overview of Me Against the World. Now heading on to All Eyez On Me, obviously his best-selling album, and the film made recently, the documentary, biopic, however you want to frame it. But Amir, going into this project, obviously he got out of jail. There were all the accusations back and forth with Bad Boy. There was California Love before the album came out.
Yeah.
So for me, when I was first hearing California Love, I love the Knick Knack Paddywhack sample by APMD. I love the Roger Troutman. And then I thought the combination of Dre and Tupac was phenomenal, because you had someone in Dre, who's undoubtedly the best producer in rap history, teaming with, at the time, the hottest rapper in the world because of his rivalries, because of his talent, because of his music, coming off an acclaimed album, Me Against the World, and now going to Death Row at the time, the hottest, biggest, most popular label in rap.
Yeah.
So for me, California Love was phenomenal, and of course, being from Maryland, I knew that he wasn't from California, but it was awesome to hear him, salute the state for all of its greatness. So for you, as a fan, hearing that song, how did you hear it in relation to when it actually came out?
I had heard that song so much before I even listened to rap, man.
Okay.
I wasn't tired of it by that point. I was more intrigued by the music video. I guess I could say, you go out, you hear that song everywhere, kind of like that, and changes and stuff. But I thought it was still a good song. It's just one of those songs that's good, but you just hear so much throughout the course of your lifetime.
True.
Not to knock the Tupac verse on there, or even the Dr. Dre verse. I especially love the shout outs to all the cities at the end. Something that's kind of missed. I feel like, the song was really probably like 3 minutes, and they added 2 minutes of all this other stuff, which I thought added a lot more flavor to it. It's great.
And then I think too, as we get into the album itself, we get into the blurring this line of art versus reality, with Two of America's Most Wanted with Snoop and Tupac on there, which is, a song that I love and I think is great. And for me, I was always intrigued when rappers would take what was really happening in their lives and apply it to their songs. And this is one of the most dramatic examples of that, especially at that point in rap history up to '96, I think, one of the more pronounced and dramatic ones. So for you, as a rap connoisseur and somebody that was falling in love with rap at the time, what extra, or if anything, did it mean to you to hear him rapping about, he and Snoop, who was, had his murder case at the time? What did you think of them injecting that into what they were rapping about?
I loved it. The music video, everything, the flow, ain't nothing but a gangsta party. Like, now it's cool to say nothing but a gangsta party.
Right.
People are making, or even Urban Outfitters are making little postcards on it for little birthday cards. They're making birthday cards out of it. So just these little things, these little anthems that Tupac created all throughout All Eyez On Me, I think, is just something that has stuck over the years and even transcended into pop culture for like Urban Outfitters. I was just saying, being they sell pop music there and whatnot, but the song itself is astounding. The flow, the beat, how they're going kind of back and forth at times. If I recall correctly.
Yeah. I mean, it's astounding to look back at it and think of where both of those artists were at the time, and to hear them do it on such like a powerful song. And then the rest of the album, of course, Dr. Dre was really just on California Love, but then throughout the rest of the album, it's dominated production-wise, in my opinion, as far as the better tracks by Daz and Johnny J.
Yeah.
So for you, what do you think Daz, who at this point was becoming, super established and, highly regarded, especially on the West Coast, what do you think he brought to All Eyez On Me?
He brought Ambitions as a Rider, which was just, dude, to
Amazing.
start off the album with that song, that's like hard to follow up.
Right.
Like this,
Very powerful.
Very strong song. What else did he produce on here, man? Like,
Got My Mind Made Up?
Did he do Got My Mind Made Up? Yeah, man. Daz was just. What's on this album, man?
It's too much.
Too much. There's like 27 songs on here. Daz was, him and Johnny J, as you said, were my two favorites. I also like DJ Quick's Hearts and Men on here.
Right. David Blake.
Boom. One thing that I kind of want to talk about that I don't know. I think that this album was also, we've heard artists from Northern California and Southern California team up before. It's not like Tupac introduced that. Obviously,
right.
He didn't. But I think on this album, it was just so much collaboration, and I actually really
SIBO on there.
Really SIBO. We got the Click,
yeah.
Richie Rich, Rappin' Forte, and we obviously have Dog Pound. We have Snoop.
Right.
I just thought it was a very West Coast, album, and he also did have other people on
Redman,
like Wu-Tang Clan and Redman. So I don't know. That is something that I think is, people always talk about Tupac being very warish. I think he still did kind of bridge the Northern California and Southern California a little stronger than what it was, and I gotta respect him for that.
Yeah. So obviously this album has so much to it, and we've gone over a little bit of it. But when you look at it now in retrospect, what gets your vote for the better album? Me Against the World by Tupac or All Eyez On Me by Tupac?
All Eyez On Me, definitely for me, as far as favorites, 100%.
And why is that?
Well, I think we have so many different types of Tupac on this album. We have, the classics like I Ain't Mad at Ya, Only God Can Judge Me, Life Goes On. Those are songs that are a little bit more introspective. We have just the hard hitters like Ambitions as a Rider, Two Americans Most Wanted, When We Ride. We even have songs that are introducing alcohol, thug passion, stories of people trying to be gangsters, Shorty Want to Be a Thug, Wonder Why They Call You Bitch.
Right.
All these things. There's just so many ingredients to the pot all being served. Whereas Me Against the World, I can kind of I feel like I have to be in a certain mood to listen to it, although it is amazing. Like, that's an understatement in my opinion. I give it to All Eyez On Me. And something that I like to say, and you can maybe agree with me or not, this is what I call the All Eyez On Me curse happened after this album.
Okay.
And that is that everyone after, not everyone, but a lot of people after started to try and release double albums. We got Bone Thugs, Art of War, we have Wu-Tang Forever, we have Life After Death, and that all happened
Master P
within...
did it before Tupac.
Which one?
With some of his compilations.
Yeah. An album by one artist, though.
Double album there.
4 LP, 2 CD.
Well, also, if you had it on vinyl, which I'm sure you do now, but He's a DJ, I'm the Rapper was a double album on vinyl by Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, which was early in the game.
Oh my! But it wasn't 2 CDs.
Well, that's
because... Did it span over 120 minutes? Is what I'm saying.
No, I don't think so.
Not 120, sorry, hour 20 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say hour 20 minutes. But back to Tupac.
Regardless.
So for me, this is an instance where we're gonna disagree. I think Me Against the World is better because I think that, as you stated and as I illustrated with a couple of my examples earlier, you do get a little bit of variance from it, even though the production is much more melancholy throughout. You do have these rays of sunshine, per se, with Dear Mama and Old School in particular, two of my favorites. But beyond that, All Eyez On Me, not that the songs are bad, but there are more songs that I'm not as into. Whereas on Me Against the World, there's literally no songs that I'm like, oh, that's not one of my favorites. Like, I can listen to the whole album, enjoy it thoroughly. Whereas All Eyez On Me, there's a few tracks, a handful of tracks actually, that, you know, they're good, and I'm glad they're out, but I'm not, if they were gone and I'd gotten them on a B-side or 12-inch or some, you know, unreleased Tupac later, I wouldn't have been like, oh man, this should have been on All Eyez On Me. No, I'm glad to hear it because I love to hear every song that artist makes, but I just think there's, you know, some fat that could be trimmed from it to make it as good and as consistent as Me Against the World. That's my opinion.
I think that goes with every double album.
Nah, we'll see. But anyway, y'all, that's what I think, that's what Amir thinks, and we're the great debaters. So make sure you guys hit us up in the comment section, subscribe, like, share, please, and let us know what you guys think. Me Against the World, All Eyez On Me by Tupac. Which one is the better album? I'm Soren Baker.
Amir Rahimi.
And check us out, y'all, the great debaters.